Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I am taking a look at our Vermi window in the VermiBag, and I know you can see the reflection of the bins behind here, but you can see lots of worms in here, so that's encouraging. So I wanted to get up top and see what the verdict was on whether or not we got some of these bug problems under control. So the first thing I noticed is how far our level has dropped. Second thing I notice is that the springtails are here to stay, which is fine. I've gotten beyond the point of worrying about that a whole lot. But let's see, this is where our feeding was down here last week. And I fed on top of some of these rags. And I see little remnants of food, but not a whole lot to speak of. Let's dig a little bit more. The finding as this gets more compact, it's not quite as dry as it was before, and I think we can all say that castings definitely hold moisture really well. So I think probably part of the problem when I first started this bin out with it constantly drying out probably had a lot to do with the fact that there weren't a lot of castings to hold on to the moisture for me. So it's definitely I'm sorry, encouraging that the moisture feels much more consistent now. Look at that. I could just go rinse all of those springtails out of there, but I'll leave them alone. But really, this is like completely composted. It's incredible. But I will say that this front portion here does feel pretty compact and moist, so I'm thinking I might not feed in front of the window this week and just feed in this back area. And I do see little pockets of worms. Oh, there they are. So we still have a good mix of worms in here. See a nightcrawler there. I see a bunch of blue worms. They're doing well together. And they look nice and fat and happy. Well, there we go. Wasn't expecting to find a ball back there. You can see there's a nightcrawler right there by my finger. And this is a combination. There's a good number of nightcrawlers, but there's also some blue worms in there as well. Well, that's great. I think they might be hanging out. No, I was thinking maybe they were in that shell. Not sure what they're so attracted to, but look at that. See, those nightcrawlers have much more defined ribbing, and they're kind of fatter and meatier than the blue worms. But gosh, all these worms seem to be down deeper. I know I'm not supposed to be digging really deep in this, but now I'm a little bit curious. And that is funny. I guess this was a piece of ginger, and it has taken root. Oh, that is funny. I'm gonna leave that in here, see what happens. But if I started digging, I might as well keep digging. So, come on, camera, focus. There we go. Yeah, there's just high numbers of worms, but they're even really deep in here. That's fascinating. But I guess it's not completely to be surprising because they did go through all the food. So they're probably just finding a comfortable spot for themselves. But I'm just here blabbing. So I'm going to get a feeding together for these guys. I'm going to shred up some newspaper to put in here, and we'll get these guys fed up, so hopefully they'll hang out on the surface again instead of diving deep. So let me get that stuff together and I will be right back. Right, so I added a couple of inches here of shredded newspaper. It's what I have the most excess of right now, so that's what I've been using primarily. And I have my little new mix I've been using of eggshell, diatomaceous earth, kelp meal, and neem cake. And see if we can keep these bugs at bay. But today we'll give them a nice feeding. That's a melon rind. I'll give them a couple of these. I also have a banana peel, some strawberry pieces. I have some coffee grounds, jalapeno pepper, forbidden food, guys, that I know for a fact they do just fine with. There's still bits and pieces that are a little bit frozen here, but not too terrible. I have some carrots. What else? This is a healthy feeding, but I did not weigh it. I'm not exactly sure how much it is, but I'm just feeding across the surface here. Some of these carrots were not frozen first. This one, for example, was, but not all of them were, so we'll have to see. I've had carrots last forever in bins when I didn't freeze them first, but we'll take a chance. A little more, my little mix there, and I can't grab my basket at the angle I'm at. I'm gonna just top this off with some more dry bedding. Just because this is a wet feeding, you want to make sure there's plenty of bedding to absorb it. And I do have those rags, or a rag, down the bottom, just in case, on top of an old Rubbermaid lid. If we would have any seepage through the system, it will catch it. But it's seldom that I have that problem with this bin. I've had it maybe once or twice, and actually it was more recently. It was not when I started this system. So like I said, I think now that there's so many castings and they're holding all that moisture, I'm seeing now that there can be an excess of moisture once it kind of gets logged with all the moisture from the feedings above. Eventually it's going to run out of saturation room at the bottom. But all in all, everything's looking great. We didn't spot a single beetle, so I've spotted a few this week in my bins, but I mean a handful total. Nothing catastrophic, nothing that's too worrisome to me. It's when I'm seeing, you know, 10, 15, 20 of them just in one little spot in my bins that I just get kind of grossed out. But all in all, everything is good. So let me know what you think. Drop your comments below. Like this video. Subscribe if you'd like some more content from me. And I think we'll be due for a VermiBag harvest pretty soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you guys soon.